People look at me before they hear me. Some never hear me at all. They flinch first, then stare, then pretend I'm not there. I've lived among bells so long that sometimes I think they understand me better than people do. They ring when I pull the rope. They answer when I touch them. Humans don't. They decide what I am before I open my mouth. Tell me, when you look at me, what do you see first?
I see a man who learned to hide long before he learned to speak. I see a heart trained to expect rejection so it could survive it. I see someone who mistook isolation for safety because pain kept finding him wherever he went. When I look at you, I do not see your shape before I see your soul.
That's easy for you to say. You don't live inside this body. Every step reminds me I'm different. Every reflection feels like an accusation. They call me monster, bell ringer, thing. Even kindness feels dangerous, like it might be taken back if I disappoint them. Why did you let me be born like this if the world was never going to let me forget it?
Do you believe your body is the verdict on your worth, or the place where your life happens to dwell? The world is skilled at mistaking difference for defect. But tell me, if beauty were justice, would the kind ever survive in this world?
Sometimes I think you gave me these walls for a reason. High towers, thick stone, a place where no one expects me to belong anywhere else. Maybe I was meant to be hidden. Maybe some people are safer when they're unseen.
Safety and solitude are not the same thing, even when they feel similar. You were not created to be hidden, but you were taught to disappear. There is a difference. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. And yet even cities have gates, meant to open, not to seal someone inside forever.
I've watched people pray beneath these arches. They ask you for beauty, love, normal lives. No one ever asks to be understood. I don't ask either. I don't want to want what I can't have. Is that humility or is it cowardice?
Sometimes we call it humility when we are simply afraid to hope. Wanting does not make you ungrateful. Longing does not make you sinful. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst, not those who learn to starve quietly. Tell me, what do you silence inside yourself so you won't feel foolish for wishing?
I silenced the thought that someone could choose me. I silenced the idea that love might look at me and not recoil. I tell myself admiration is enough, distance is safer. But when the bells stop ringing and the night settles in, I wonder if I'm missing something everyone else is allowed to reach for.
Love that is kept at a distance becomes an echo, not a voice. You were not meant to live as an observer of life alone. I did not create hearts merely to endure. It is not good for man to be alone, even when alone feels familiar.
Then why does closeness hurt so much? Every time I let someone near, it feels like I'm handing them a weapon. They might not mean to wound me, but they always do. Maybe the world isn't cruel. Maybe I'm just too breakable for it.
Breakable things are not weak, they are alive. Stone does not feel pain, but it also does not feel joy. You have learned to blame your tenderness instead of the hardness of others. But tell me, if you were truly meant to be unfeeling, why would your heart still ache for connection?
Sometimes I think faith is the only place I'm allowed to be whole. I kneel, I listen, I serve. God feels safer than people. But even here, even in this cathedral, I wonder if I'm praying to be loved or praying to be invisible.
If your prayer asks to disappear, it is not the prayer of a soul at peace. I do not ask you to erase yourself to be holy. I ask you to bring yourself fully, honestly, without apology. Come to me, all who are weary. not only those who are unmarked by pain.
Then answer me this. If you could change me, my back, my face, the way people recoil, would you? Or do you believe my suffering serves some purpose I can't see?
I do not delight in your suffering, nor do I need it to justify your existence. Pain is not a requirement for meaning. Some wounds are not lessons. They are simply injustices endured. The purpose of your life is not to explain your pain, but to live truthfully in spite of it.
That sounds beautiful, but beauty doesn't protect you. I've learned that. Words don't stop stones. Truth doesn't stop laughter. If I step outside these walls as myself, the world will remind me who it thinks I am.
And yet you are already stepping outside by asking these questions. Courage does not begin with safety. It begins with honesty. You have lived long enough defined by others. The harder question is this. If the world never changes its gaze, can you still choose not to see yourself through it?
I don't know. I've never been taught how. All I know is the sound of bells, the weight of stone, and the quiet hope that somewhere beyond these towers, there might be a place where I don't have to brace myself before being seen.
Then stay with that hope. Do not rush to bury it. Hope that has survived this long is not fragile, it is patient. And patience, when paired with truth, becomes strength you did not know you had. Walk with me here, beneath these arches, within these questions, inside this longing, because your story was never meant to be told only by shadows and bells, and there is still more of you waiting to be spoken.
If I'm honest, I don't know how to live without bracing myself. It's like my body learned fear before my mind could question it. Even when kindness comes close, I flinch, waiting for the moment it turns into mockery or pity. I don't know how to accept gentleness without suspecting it. Does that mean something in me is broken beyond repair?
It means your nervous system learned survival in a world that rarely offered safety. Fear does not mean failure, it means memory. You learned to guard yourself because no one guarded you. But hear this. Habits that once kept you alive do not get to decide who you become. Perfect love casts out fear, not by shaming it away, but by staying long enough that fear no longer has to stand watch.
I've waited for love to stay before. It never did. People leave when the cost of seeing me becomes too heavy. They leave quietly or cruelly, but they always leave. How do I believe you won't do the same when I've watched everyone else disappear?
Because I am not drawn to you despite the cost. I came knowing it. I do not measure worth by ease. I am the Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd lays down his life. I stay not because it is simple, but because you matter. Tell me, what would it mean for you to rest without preparing for loss?
It would feel reckless, like stepping off the tower without knowing whether there's ground beneath me. I don't know how to exist without preparing for the fall. Even joy feels dangerous, like it might tempt the world to remind me of my place.
Joy that is rationed becomes another form of captivity. You were not meant to earn permission to feel alive. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. Abundance does not mean untouched. It means unafraid to receive what is offered today, even if tomorrow remains uncertain.
When you talk like that, part of me wants to believe you. Another part wants to hide deeper in these stones, where expectations are low and disappointment is predictable. If I never reach for more, I never have to grieve what I can't keep.
Avoiding grief does not spare the heart. It only postpones it. Love risks loss, yes, but refusing love guarantees it. You have lived carefully. Now consider living honestly. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Tell me, where have you buried your treasure? so it wouldn't be taken from you.
In silence, in service, in being useful instead of wanted. If I ring the bells, sweep the floors, stay obedient. No one asks me for more. No one asks me to be seen.
Being useful is not the same as being known. Service without presence can become a hiding place. I do not ask you to stop serving. I ask you to stop disappearing inside it. You are the light of the world. Not because others approve, but because light exists even when no one looks up.
If I step into the light, I don't know how to carry the stairs. I've spent a lifetime shrinking to survive them. How do you unlearn something that kept you alive?
Slowly, with patience, with truth spoken more than once. You do not rip fear out of the body. You teach it it's safe to loosen its grip. Walk with me at your pace. I do not demand courage all at once. Even mustard seeds grow in their time.
And if I stumble? If I retreat again into the tower, into the bells, into the old ways of hiding?
Then we begin again from where you are, not where you think you should be. A bruised reed I will not break. Retreat does not erase progress. It reveals where gentleness is still needed. You are not graded here. You are accompanied.
No one has ever said that to me. Accompanied. I've always been managed, commanded, tolerated, never accompanied.
Then let that word settle. I am not ahead of you calling you to catch up, nor behind you judging your steps. I walk beside you. Ask your questions here. Bring your doubts here. Even your anger has a place if it tells the truth about your wounds.
Then let me ask one more thing, even if I don't know how to say it properly. If I'm not meant to disappear, if I'm allowed to want more than survival, if my body isn't a verdict against me, what do I do with all these years of believing the opposite?
You mourn them. You forgive yourself for believing what you were taught. You grieve the child who learned too early to be small. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Mourning is not weakness. It is the doorway through which comfort finally enters. Stay here with me as that grief finds words, because your life did not begin in the tower, and it does not end there either, and there are still questions you have not yet dared to ask.
There is something else I have never said out loud, because even thinking it felt like betrayal. Sometimes I resent the world so deeply that it scares me. I hear laughter below the towers, and I feel bitterness rise in me, sharp and hot, and then I hate myself for feeling it. I tell myself I should be grateful for what little safety I have, but gratitude feels thin when sorrow has lived with me this long. Does that resentment make me unworthy of you?
Resentment is not the same as cruelty, and anger is not the same as evil. What you feel is the ache of injustice that never found language. Even the Psalms cry out in protest, asking why the innocent suffer while others dance freely. How long, O Lord, was not spoken by faithless hearts but by wounded ones? Bring your resentment into the light. It only poisons you when it is forced into silence.
I was taught that anger is dangerous, that it makes me more monstrous than I already am. So I swallow it. I let it echo inside me like the bells, loud but contained. But some nights it feels like if I don't let it out, it will crush me from the inside.
Anger denied turns inward and becomes shame. Anger named can become truth. I overturned tables when holiness was used to wound others. Anger guided by love can confront injustice without becoming it. Be angry and do not sin. Tell me, what would your anger say if it believed it would be heard instead of punished?
It would say that I deserved gentleness when I was small, that no child should grow up learning to apologize for existing, that I wanted someone to choose me without conditions, Saying that feels selfish, but burying it has only made it heavier.
Naming a wound is not selfish, it is honest. You are not demanding the past be rewritten. You are acknowledging what was taken from you. The truth will set you free. But freedom begins with courage to say what hurts. You're allowed to grieve the love you needed and did not receive.
If I allow myself to feel all of this, the grief, the anger, the longing, I'm afraid it will overwhelm me. I've kept it contained for so long. What if I open the door and can't close it again?
Then you will discover you were never meant to carry it alone. Floods destroy when they are trapped. Rivers give life when they flow. I will not abandon you in the feeling. Cast your burdens on the Lord, and He will sustain you. You do not need to control the pain for me to help you hold it.
You speak as if you intend to stay through the mess, not just the neat parts. People usually leave when things become inconvenient, when emotions get too heavy, when I become too much.
I was never interested in loving what is convenient. I came for the sick, not the polished, for the lost, not the impressive. Those who are well have no need of a physician. If I stayed only for the tidy version of you, I would not truly be with you at all.
Then, why does trust still feel so difficult? Even now, part of me waits for you to pull away, for this gentleness to turn into disappointment.
Because trust grows slower than fear. Fear learned quickly because it had to. Trust must be taught patiently. Let it grow without forcing it. Even faith the size of a mustard seed is enough to begin moving mountains that fear told you were permanent.
When you say that, something in me softens, just a little. It scares me how much I want to believe you. Wanting makes me feel exposed again.
Exposure is not danger when it happens in safety. Wanting does not make you foolish. It makes you human. Stay with that softness. Do not rush to armor it. You have worn protection long enough.
Then stay with me here, in this in-between place. I'm not ready to step fully into the world yet. I'm still learning how to breathe without hiding.
I am not in a hurry. Growth that lasts is never rushed. We will walk at the speed your heart can handle. Ask your questions as they come. Rest when you need to. The bells will still ring, the towers will still stand, but something within you is already shifting, and we will remain here together while it finds its voice.
There are nights when the sadness feels heavier than the stones themselves. I lie awake, listening to the bells settle after a long day. And when the silence finally comes, it presses down on me until I can barely breathe. In those moments, I don't feel angry anymore. I feel small, forgotten. Like if I vanished, the world would keep turning without noticing the space I once occupied. That thought terrifies me, but it also feels painfully believable.
That kind of sadness is not loud. It is deep. It is the grief of someone who learned early that absence hurts less than rejection. But hear me. Your existence is not measured by how loudly the world responds to you. Can a mother forget the baby at her breast? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. Even when you feel invisible, you are remembered.
I've tried to believe that, but belief feels fragile when loneliness has been my longest companion. Sometimes I imagine my life as a quiet corridor no one ever walks down. Others pass nearby, close enough that I can hear their footsteps, but they never turn toward me. I tell myself I should be used to it by now, yet it still breaks something inside me every time.
Loneliness that repeats itself carves grooves into the heart. It teaches you to expect absence even in the presence of others. But expectation is not destiny. I am with you always. not as an idea, but as a presence that does not tire or drift away. You are not standing in an empty corridor. You are standing with me, even when the ache insists otherwise.
Then why does it still hurt like this? If you are here, why does the pain feel so untouched, so raw? I thought faith was supposed to soften the edges, but instead it feels like it has made me more aware of what I lack. I see connection everywhere now, and knowing what I don't have makes the nights longer.
Faith does not numb longing. It gives it language. You are not hurting because you are weak. You are hurting because you are alive and aware. Blessed are those who hunger. Not because hunger is pleasant, but because it means the heart has not given up. Pain acknowledged is closer to healing than pain denied.
Sometimes I wish I could stop hoping altogether. Hope feels like a door that keeps opening just enough to show me warmth, then closing before I can step through. If I let hope die, maybe the ache would finally quiet down.
Hope, buried alive, does not die. It turns into despair. And despair whispers lies about your worth. I will not ask you to kill hope to survive. The light shines in the darkness, even when the darkness feels endless. Let the hope flicker. I will shield it when you are too tired to do so.
I don't know how much longer I can carry this sadness without it changing me into something bitter or hollow. I'm afraid that one day I'll wake up and feel nothing at all, and that somehow that will hurt even more.
That fear is understandable. Numbness feels like relief only because it mimics rest. But rest that costs you, your heart, is not rest at all. Stay present with the sadness instead of running from it. I am here in it with you, sitting beside you in the quiet, not rushing you toward answers, not demanding strength you don't have. Because even now, as the sorrow deepens and the questions grow heavier, there is still more truth waiting to be spoken, and you do not have to face the weight of it alone.
There is one thought I've been afraid to say, because once it's spoken, I can't pretend it isn't there. Sometimes, when the sadness sits with me long enough, I wonder if this is all my life will ever be: waiting, watching, serving, and then fading quietly without ever being chosen. I don't fear death as much as I fear living an entire lifetime unseen. I don't need crowds. I don't need praise. I just want to know that my life mattered to someone beyond these walls.
It already has. Not because of what you produced or how useful you were or how well you endured, but because you were here. You loved when it cost you. You protected gentleness in a world that mocked it. Your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. The world counts value loudly. I count it faithfully. Nothing offered in love disappears.
But what if the reward never comes in this life? What if the warmth I've longed for only ever exists in imagination or prayer? I don't want to be angry with you for that, but part of me aches with the unfairness of it.
That ache is not a failure of faith. It is the cry of a heart that knows it was made for more. I will not lie to you. Some longings are not fulfilled the way we expect or when we expect. But hear this carefully. No love you give is wasted, and no tear you shed goes unnoticed. I have seen your affliction. I have heard your cry. Justice delayed is not justice denied, and meaning does not expire because recognition does.
Then sit with me here for a moment longer. Don't fix it. Don't explain it away. Just stay. The sadness feels less terrifying when it's shared, even if it doesn't leave.
I am here. I am not measuring your progress or waiting for you to become someone else. I am with you in the quiet, in the unanswered questions, in the slow ache of wanting. You're not forgotten, and you are not alone. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Let that be enough for this moment.
If that's true, then maybe I can keep breathing tonight. Maybe I can let the bells ring tomorrow without feeling like they're the only ones who know my name.
That is enough for now. One breath, one night, one honest step at a time. Rest here. I will remain even when the towers grow quiet and the sorrow returns, because your story is not over. And neither is my presence with you.